Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to our new, to us anyway, Porsche Macan GTS. Just a few weeks of ownership of this car and we are absolutely loving it, but just like most non-GT Porsches, this car has what in my eyes is a minor design flaw, and that is terribly exposed radiators at the front of the car. But have no fear, because in this box is the solution to the problem. Because just like I did with my Boxster 3 years ago, today I'm fitting Zunsport Grills to the Macan. So before I open the box, let me show you the three main areas of concern. First up, just below the headlight unit here, is perhaps the biggest gap of all. I mean, I can get my fist in there quite happily, and you can see the radiators and coolant systems behind there. In fact, I can even get the camera in and point the camera down, and you'll be able to see the bottom there. And you can find all kinds of things in there, from leaf litter, sticks, and so on. So that's the first bit of the exposed coolant systems. Then along the very bottom, you've got these gaps here. They're not quite as big, maybe a couple of inches high and maybe 6 inches long, and they extend all the way along the front, just above the front splitter. And then the main radiator element there, in fact, if you can see inside, they're active radiator elements. They open up at certain times during the drive cycle, and again, they are quite exposed. So the idea is we're going to fit some protective grills across the front of the car. Now, as I start to unpack the box, although I'm putting these on a Porsche, it's worth noting that Zunsport make grills for loads of different manufacturers of cars. So if you're interested in seeing if they've got a grill set for your car, if you use the link in the video description or in the pinned comment, you can go through to their website and have a look. And even if they don't actually have grills for your car, what they're often interested in doing is using cars as effectively a template to make a grill set for that particular make and model. So when you go through, they've got so many to choose from. You need to just make sure that you choose the correct make and model and year. So this car is a facelift 2020 car, and you just have to make sure that you get the right set of grills. And I've got all of the different component parts coming on here. So I think I've got, from the looks of it, one more to come. Whoop. Whoa, look at that. So I think I've got, these are the grills for the very front just there. This looks like the grill for the front just there. And then I've got lots of little bits, which I reckon are the side bits. So let's see how we get on. There's also some instructions in here to tell you how to fit them. Okay, we're going to start off with here. We've got three elements basically. We've got an element that goes in just there. We've got an element that goes in just there. And then interestingly, there's also an element that covers up this, but that doesn't actually have any kind of aperture there. It's just styling. So I might not actually fit that top bit, but interestingly there is a stone just wedged in there. So yeah, what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to take a design decision not to fit that one, and there's some screws there. You screw that one in place, whereas the bottom two just clip. Okay, time to fit the first piece. Now, you just need to be careful of the paintwork around there. You could put some masking tape or some gaffer tape on there if you had any. I'm just going to be super careful. I was when I fitted the grills to my Boxster, and they just clip in place. I don't know if you can see these little clips just here. Those kind of clip round the back, and they are removable. So if you wanted to fit them, if I just push this one in place, and then that is then the grill in place. That's it. Done. That simple. Next up is this one just here. Again, you want to push that all the way in there, and that should then just clip in place. That's gone in. Oh no, hold on. Now this one has proved a little bit trickier. So the secret to this one is you have to push it that way, a long way, and make sure this one's clipped in here. And then once it is, you think that the clip that's just here is in place, but it's not. You really have to push it quite hard in there to get it securely in place. But I'm pretty sure those two are in and look much, much better. Now when you cut these bags open, so this is the grill for just there, but there's also the screws that you would use to screw this top one in place. So I'm just going to put those to one side. So I'm not going to use those. Okay, so first up again, I'm actually going to try to put this one in first this time, because I can't quite, no you can't, unfortunately, it's annoying, there's like a whole vein behind this light here. There's a whole vein. You want to be able to get your hand up underneath to help secure this pin on the left-hand side, but let's just try and put that in. And as I said, you want to push it all the way that way as far as it can go. You just feel a little click there, and then just, it was quite a, and then you just, with this little tool, just pull out. And I think that, God, that went in an awful lot easier than the other side. Wow. Yeah, that's in. And then this one, again, just being wary of the paintwork. As I said, I've fitted these a few times now, and actually it's not quite so horrible as you would think if you're just careful of the paintwork. But like all these things, fitting stuff like this on the internet, someone's bound to have a go, bound to say they could do it better. So just push that in, and then you should just be able to, that's that click, and that's it. That's those two in place. Super, super simple. I thought I'd wash the car lot. I don't know. Okay. Next up is a big, long old grill. Standing there. This is the grill that's going to cover the bottom just along there. And this has got some screws in it to hold it in place rather than clips by the looks of it. So that's going to go on there. Or is it? Yeah, it is, yeah. Wow, okay. So it has some destructions, and it has some screws. Now, each of the kits comes with a set of instructions like this. And there's also some accompanying videos on YouTube if you want to watch someone else doing it first. It's dead simple. It's literally just 3 steps. So put some tape round if you want to. Carefully guide the grill into the aperture, making sure it's centralised. And then using 5 screws, screw the grill into the plastic moulding to secure it into place. Do not over tighten. Okay, let me just have a quick look at this. So that's got to be there. If I drop it into the bottom pit there, the number plate, typically the number plate's going to be in the way, isn't it? There you go, super simple. And actually that's it. So it's just a case of screwing it in place. That does look pretty cool, actually. So, let's get some screws in place. Whew. So by the looks of it, there's just 5 screws. There's one just there, and then there's one there, and one there on the other side. So I'm going to do this one to start with, just to centralise and support it centrally. It is bang on in the middle. These screws take a little bit of starting. Once they're started, they're all right. You just don't over tighten them. Okay. Right. Final one on this side anyway. I'll just nip that up. And the last one here. There she goes. Just takes a while to get the thread to go. Once the thread's caught, it's easy. You could, of course, use an electric screwdriver for this, but I'm just going the old-fashioned way. Jubbly. Very cool. Now I've got to say, the last one is the one I'm maybe the least sure about from an aesthetic point of view, but it covers up the biggest gap. And there are actually three elements just here that are going to finish that main front radiator section. The central element just here, it's going to leave these two vertical streaks here and then two bits either side. And there's also a cutaway because I've got parking sensors just there and just there. So you just need to be mindful of those. But so far, I'm pleased with the way things have gone on and certainly pleased with the way it looks. So let's get cracking with this main and final central section. Okay, we'll get opening again. Minding not to cut myself. So that's that bit that's just going to go on just there. And then in the main part are the instructions. Again, for this part there is written instructions, but also a YouTube tutorial if you'd rather watch that. And this part looks like it's got lots of nice clips. There is a screw just there as well. I like the clip ones because you're not actually screwing into the car, which I know will probably be a bit alarming for some of you. Although for me, it was a minor screw sized hole. And actually, once the grills are in place, you can't really see it anyway. And then this final part just here. So I think we're going to start with that left-hand side first. That is a clip-in job. There is a final locating screw at the bottom there if you want to use it, but hopefully these have been relatively easy to put in before. So I just fit that one in place there, and you kind of hook that left-hand screw, and I can actually get my arm in here, which is quite handy. Fit that around there. That's in, that's on. And that screw, I think, is definitely a must. There we go. So that ain't going anywhere. Nice, really nice. That hooked on, and then this one just slides in, and hopefully that's that one clipped in. And then again, just the fastening screw just there. Again, just be super careful when you're trying to get these threads to catch. You could drill a little pilot hole, probably make it a little bit easier. There you go, it's got now. Super duper. Push that in place. Super easy. Mega. One more, which is the big one in the middle. Now, final piece is going to go in the main central part there. Now, interestingly, I've got this number plate plinth on, and there's a bottom set of clips that are going to clip in just there. So I think, though, if I just make sure they're bent out nicely so that they're going to catch properly, I'm pretty sure that I can fit this and slide it down behind the number plate plinth, so I don't actually have to take the plinth off, which would be very, very helpful. That's that one done. And then the rest just clip in, hopefully. that one. They clipped in. And also the bonus of that is there is a drill hole place down there, but I don't actually need it because my number plate plinth is keeping it nicely in place. And that is that. Looks great. Absolutely mega. So that is the job done in well under an hour. If you ignore the mess, that's the typical carnage that I leave behind me whenever I do any kind of DIY. So I think the next thing we need to do is take the car out into the natural light so you can have a look at the grills in place. But I'm dead chuffed with those. I wasn't actually so sure about the central one and what that would look like, but I'm really pleased with the way it's come out. So now she's outside in natural daylight. Firstly, when this car's clean, I'm just so chuffed with the spec. I think it's a stunning looking car. But let's take a closer look at the front radiator grills now. So first up, we'll go with these two side ones. And I like the way that the Zunsport stuff just looks like it's OEM. It looks like it's meant to be there. And then these front two larger sections, a little bit more tricky to fit. The bottom one, maybe more so because you had to screw it in place. But I think that's come out really well. You can see here the little hole for the parking sensor, so that's all good. And I think that just looks really smart and just gives the cooling systems that extra layer of protection from stones and, you know, the general detritus you get on the roads, sticks and leaves and all that kind of stuff. I'm really, really pleased with the way that has come out. And if you just look at it, take a step back, it just gives the car almost a bit of a GT edge for me, which I like very, very much. Now, there was one final thing in the kit that I didn't use, and that's this, a little Zunsport badge that you can put on the grills if you want. I didn't want that look on the car, but they do look quite cool when you fit them. But a big shout out to Zunsport for working with me on this one. When I did the video on the Boxster, the response was really, really positive. There were a few comments about warranty. Now, I never had any warranty issues with my car when it went back to Porsche for servicing and so on. They never mentioned it at all. I think any issues with warranty are very OPC specific. If it's a Porsche, I can't comment on other brands. My view on it is I've put something on the car that basically protects the radiators from damage. So I can't understand how that could possibly be having any adverse effect with warranty. And there's plenty of airflow there for the cooling and so on. So I just don't get that argument at all. But if you're interested in putting these grills on your car, as I said, there's a link in the video description and a pinned comment. Head to Zunsport's website. You can do a search by manufacturer, by make. Just make sure that you get the right car model and year, but you can also contact Zunsport and ask for details if you're not sure. And if they don't have what you're looking for, get in contact with them anyway, because it may well be that they'd like to use your car, especially if it's a newer model car, to create a new set of grills so that they can add to their product lineup. But hopefully you'll agree, I think the Macan looks fantastic with her new grills. The first modification, I don't think I'm going to be doing many modifications of this car, if I'm honest, but it does look good. Anyway, if you enjoyed that and found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.